This is the Isle of Skye,
Scotland's most beautiful island and a hotspot for the fairy folk. Scotland is full of these supernatural creatures, like the horrifying glashstick. Wails of pain would signify a ghoulish death for those who heard it. To the friendly fae, like the house-cleaning brownie, known to be fiercely loyal and protective of the families they serve. Today, I'm scouring the entire island for the best fairy stories around, like portals into the fairy dimension and a real-life fairy realm, and much more. You'll learn the legends and traditions,
as well as the best spots to see on this incredible island.
Because not only is Skye full of epic stories, it's also home to the most incredible views in the world. I'm trekking up hills and tracking down the legends.
Starting with the Fairy Glen.
It's said the very landscape has been shaped and molded by the fairies
To enhance their power, or perhaps to create homes for them.
Hello? Anyone home?
There's an eerie silence around this place. I get the feeling that I'm being watched.
Huh?
You know, I can't stress enough. The Fae hate having their secrets revealed.
In fact, the man who first coined the term fairy tale in English learned this the hard way. Reverend Robert Kirk was a devout minister, Gaelic scholar, and a fairy-loving fanatic. It's said he would visit and frolic with the fae on the hill behind his manor, but one chilly morning, he was found dead, with no apparent cause to how. But it turns out the cheeky reverend had been collecting stories and writing about the fairies. You can even buy his book, The Secret Commonwealth of Elves, Fauns, and Fairies. We now know his mistake. They say he is still up on that hill, trapped in the fairy dimension, accessible only through the trees.
Where'd that come from?
Yep. I think it's time to go. Let's go. Let's get out of here. A welcome change of scenery.
This is Old Sleegakin Bridge.
But that is no ordinary river. Woo! Do I look any younger? Maybe it needs to dry first.
That's right, this river is enchanted. The story starts with an epic battle of the sexes. Two renowned warriors, Skye of Skye and Cuchulainn of Ireland. Skye had proven her strength over and over, defeating any man who stood against her. But she'd never faced the half-god Cuchulainn before. The battle raged for weeks. The earth shook. The very landscape changed. It seemed as though it would never end, but the wee folk had a part to play yet. Skye's daughter, seeing no way her mom could win, ran to this very river and emptied her tears into the water. The river fairies, hearing her cry, were moved. They commanded she dunk her head into the raging river to learn how she could stop the violence. Soaked and shocked, she bolted across the valley to her mother's house and immediately started cooking, wafting the delicious smells out into the countryside.
After 2 whole weeks of non-stop fighting, the two warriors must have been starving. So upon smelling the food, they decided to take a break.
It was in their haste and hunger that they broke bread together in Skye's home. Thus, Cuchulainn became a guest, and the battle was over. A long time has passed, but the magic of the water still holds.
Okay, to get the full effect, you gotta have your head in for a full 7 seconds. Oh God. Woo! You know, if you dunk your head in for 7 seconds, it makes you look younger. Do you know that?
I just did it. I'm 70. Just
Wow,
kidding.
how long did you dunk it in for? Oh my goodness. I'm feeling youthful, for sure.
Now we come to the jumbo-sized portals to the fairy realm.
These are the fairy pools. Well, at least this is part of it.
Known as the place where MacLeod clan chief married a fairy, a story we'll get to later. It's also the thinnest plane of existence between the human and fairy realms. Who knows what mysterious boons and knowledge lie on the other side of this pool?
Well, there's only one way to find out. There is this magical tingling all over my body. Yeah, this is really about as much of the fairy realm as I can take. Woo. On to the next spots. Did you know know you can join us on an epic 3-day Isle of Skye adventure with Scotland's Wild. See Skye and some of the best of the Highlands on your way up. I gotta get out of here. The midges are coming. Link in description. 10% off.
So I'm at Kilt Rock, right? I'm at Kilt Rock. And that sound you're hearing, that's the sound of this fence.
I really hope you can hear that. It's so cool. It's angelic like. I really hope I'm not the only one that's impressed with this.
Okay, now this is a place closely tied with the fairies. Let's go check it out.
Inside this castle is a fairy relic that we can actually go in and see. In fact, Dunvegan Castle has an 800-year-old history of MacLeod after MacLeod after MacLeod. And it was one of these very MacLeods who obtained the legendary fairy flag. Being a land filled with fae, it's to no surprise that a MacLeod clan chief fell in love with one and married her. The sad truth is, though, that fairies cannot stay long in the human realm, and so after 20 years, she was forced to return for good.
So, on this very bridge, the fairy wife said her goodbyes. But she gave her husband one powerful last parting gift, the fairy flag.
Simply wave the flag in great danger, and on 3 occasions, and only 3, will the fairies intervene.
It's been said the fairy flag flew in the Battle of Waternish in 1580, winning the day. Then again, during a cattle plague, stopping the plague and saving the island.
So there's 1 shard of fairy power left in this old thing, huh? What would you do with that last charge of fairy power? Let me know in the comments.
It's time to head to a place that only real adventurers go. A true hidden gem, but it's not without its risks. Now we have about 2 hours to get in and out, or we'll be spending about 12 hours in the cold, damp darkness. Or I'll be spending 12 hours in the cold, damp darkness. Okay, so let's get a move on. You know, I feel like Lara Croft right now. Just about to explore this tomb. Look at this.
This cave was a popular day trip location for wealthy Victorians after being made famous by Sir Walter Scott himself in his poem Lord of the Isles. The mermaid's alabaster grot, who bathes her limbs in the sunless well, deep in Struxed's enchanted cell.
It might be the coolest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, so we're going down there.
Oh, what was that? Remember, suspect the fate.